any win on the road, certainly in Europe, is a very good win. I thought they could have won it by more. I thought they were very, very comfortable within the game and probably could have gone after Larnaca a little bit more aggressively, certainly early on, to win the game even more comfortably. But a 2-0 lead, you expect them to do the business next Thursday again and then go into the next round of the competition.
Yeah, so, I mean, Stuart, it begs the question, if they survive in the Premier League and win their first cup since 1980, does the season go from mediocre to incredible?
I think the word incredible is stretching it slightly, but I think it goes from mediocre, because they've been disappointed, make no mistake, by West Ham's last 2 seasons' performances.
You admit they've been mediocre?
It's been very mediocre this year. They'll be disappointed with that. Dave will be disappointed with certainly where they are in the league at present. But to get their hands on silverware, if they do that at the end of the season, training last year at the London Stadium, I said to Dave, look at the achievements of this football club over 100 years. I think 3 trophies they've got to their name. So to put another trophy up in that stadium in Dave's tenure, I think will be a great achievement.
I think it would be. Even if the trophy, Simon, in your eyes, is the incidental cup. I mean, you're quite derogatory about the Europa Conference League in that, is it worth winning?
Well, I mean, the characterisation that I put was, if it's at the expense of staying in the Premier League, then it can't be considered anything other than incidental. I know that there's a lot of West Ham fans that have corrected me and said, well, hang on a second, we'll take a trophy. That's fine if that's your view, that's your football club. I'm sure that you're entitled to it. My view is, which would you rather have? Winning this European tournament and dropping into the Championship and find yourself in a world of problems down there, or perhaps having had a decent season and maybe having a respectable campaign in Europe?
Or both.
Or both. If you can have both, yes, if you can have both, fantastic.
Stay in the Premier League and win it.
My characterisation was, at the time, in the conversation that you and I are having, was if one goes at the expense of the other, then in my view, the Premier League status has to be the bigger prize. But look, I understand the West Ham fans, they don't win many things. We have to listen to the fact that there's the West Ham way, and the West Ham way isn't winning anything. So if they get to win something, then Stuart's point is relevant. And also, given it's a gateway into the Europa League, we can't argue about these consistent evolution of tournaments from the domestic scene to the international scene. People criticise the European nations, say it's a rubbishy old load of crap that's not worth any time. And here we are creating domestic tournaments, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So you do have to suggest that at the end of the day, this is the bottom of the pile for European tournaments. So I do think it's moderately incidental, but it's not incidental insofar as it gives you a gateway into the Europa League, which has more relevance. But it is incidental if it comes at the cost of Premier League status.
Yeah.
In my view.
It would be something else if they win it and stay in the Premier League. Anyway, a win in Larnaca was all that David Moyes really wanted.
Being in it's something special, you know. Everybody wants to be in Europe. We did as well. You know, I remember when we got there a couple of years ago, how thrilled I was, and the players were, and the supporters were. Everybody was thrilled. And by the way, it was great. We had a really good crowd here tonight. This trip's been Cyprus. We've seen a lot of different places over the last day, whether it be Croatia or Belgium or wherever we've been for games, France. So it's something which I'm pleased that we're able to give West Ham supporters European football. And tonight was another decent win.
There are some fans, though, and I sat with some of them in the train going down to Brighton last weekend, Stuart, who say, all that stuff about Europe last season, that's been papering over cracks.
I think some of the best nights potentially last year were in Europe. Some of the most exciting ones in the London Stadium, especially going on the road and winning in Lyon, I think it was as well, was really good for the club. I think you've got to create memories for the fans, and I think Dave's done that certainly last year, and they've got 100% record in Europe as well this year, so it's not too bad. But there's no doubt that since probably Christmas last year, the results in the Premier League have not been as good as expected, and certainly this year as well, that's carried on.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.